Question Hi, I'm Twofold, and I usually have more than one perspective or answer. Today I'm doing the BookTube Newbie tag so you can get to know me, and maybe you'll understand why I picked the moniker Twofold as we go. So I've got my coffee and my computer with notes, and let's get into it. Question 1. Why did you start this channel? The main reason is that I need Millennial Skills Bootcamp. I don't have all the social media, really any of the social media. I've never edited a video before this week. I think that I'm more likely to do that for love than for money. So I'm using something that I really am passionate about to inspire me to learn a new skill. And the other reason, of course, is to connect with people and really get into the community and share and learn. Question 2, what are some fun and interesting things you can bring to BookTube? I am an interdisciplinarian and I read a lot of genres all the time, and I think that making connections between, say, cosmology and a romance novel could be pretty cool. The other thing is I have some fun ideas for what I read today, sort of as a callback. Question 3, what are you most excited about for this new channel? Well, I did my first video about that, what I'm so excited for. My reading challenge this year is to read African authors, and I'm just really thrilled about it. Nerdy and charts and lists and thrilled. And the other thrill is just the learning. To put together my first video was so exciting, and to jump into the community and find other people's videos and posts, it's been so thrilling. Question 4, why do you love reading? It's just so satisfying to finish a book. I think it's my favorite thing, is reading a book cover to cover in one sitting. It's like better than when the house is completely clean, or you cleaned the whole garden and took this wild jungle mess back to straight and neat, or when all the colors are in the rainbow order in your pencil box. It's better than that. And of course, escapism. Question 5, what book or series got you into reading? So I don't feel like I have a standard answer for this one, because it wasn't a book or a series, it was people. My mom was my first influence, but I'll talk about her in a minute. I had an interesting college experience. I changed my major in my last year and was suddenly in all higher level classes. And 2 of my professors in particular, they assigned so much reading. Between the 2 of them, I had 4 books a week, and my other classes, it was like 6 books a week, every week. I would take my stack of books and go camp out in my coffee shop and put unfinished books on this side and finished books on this side. I did all my reading on the weekends so I could write papers during the week, and I just move books from one side of the table to the other. And it was amazing. It was so thrilling that I could read 6 books in a week. And I started loving that. And then I was talking to one of these professors. He said to me, most people read more in college than they do in the rest of their lives, even if they think they're going to read after college. And I just took that as a challenge. I was like, okay, not me, I'm going to scale it up. And I've been working on it. I've been trying to scale up how many in a year, every year since then. It's not been perfect. I had a couple years where I didn't read anything because I was depressed, but I have read so much more in college than I did all the way through. But if I have to pick a series that just got me in love with being in love with reading, I would say the Discworld is my series of series that when I'm stuck or when I need a reboot, I'll go to Terry Pratchett. 6. What questions do you have for your favorite YouTubers? Well, I am pretty new and I'm still defining the edges of who I'm interested in or drawn to. But I'd have to say, for anyone, my question is, what should I read? Give me a suggestion. Question 7, let's see. What challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Consistency. I am not a consistent reader. I read a lot in a year, but often there's a couple months I don't read at all. And I don't want that to be the case. I think that I like myself better when I'm reading. And so I'm hoping that this channel can help me overcome that, but I'm also a little nervous that that will impact how many videos I put out in those months when I'm just done with it. So I think that's going to be a challenge, but a really worthy challenge, a good challenge. I think we're up to question 8. When did you start reading? So like I said before, I didn't get into reading until after college. And as far as when I learned to read, I remember still working on it in first grade. I think that was pretty late. I think my peers were ahead of me, but I do remember learning in first grade. And yeah, this goes back to what I was saying about my mom. I wasn't really a reader as a kid. We read as a family, but like that wasn't my jam. I was into crafting and knitting and music and being outside. So my mom was always reading to us when we were growing up. Always, it wasn't just bedtime. You know, some kids, like if you pull out a book when you're babysitting a 4-year-old, they're like, I don't want to go to sleep. We read on our own. We read together. We read with grandparents and parents and aunts. But yeah, my mom read to us all the way through high school. And actually even last year. I went home for the holidays last year with my partner, and I asked my mom to read my favorite winter book from when I was a kid. And so it was just really great. Every night, the 3 of us would sit around by a fire, and she would read to me like she did when I was little. It was darling. Question 9. Where do you read? Anywhere dry, and sometimes in the bath. Finally, question 10. Let's see. What kind of books do you like to read? First answer, the kinds that are in space. That's my candy, that's my cake, that's what I always go to. Sometimes fantasy, definitely like YA, interesting stories. But second answer, pretty much everything. I read cookbooks, reference texts, social work, psychology, cosmology, other science if I can understand it. I don't really read much religion. If I'm going to, it's probably going to be Buddhism. But actually, I went through a pile of C.S. Lewis's nonfiction. That was intense. I did those as audiobooks, which maybe is why it was so intense. Yeah, I'll read anything. And I really like to read something that I wouldn't gravitate to just like for comfort food. I like reading things that feel like, I honestly like reading things that feel a little bit like homework. So that's it. If you have any other burning questions, please feel free to comment below and I will try to answer. Also, I'd love for you to check out my other video of my 2021 African Author Challenge for myself. And if you're inclined, subscribe and check in with me as I go through the goal. See ya!